What's up, Facebook Live and Jay Kinder? How are you?
What's up, man? It's good, man. It's a great day every day.
Yeah, man. Well, first I want to start off by saying thank you for that 8 hours of free training that you and your guys' team set up. Literally, I've just been like on it all morning, just like mind blown. And like I was telling you before you got on here, I already started implementing some like automated systems to keep buyers, sellers, agents updated on the market and stuff. So
Right.
appreciate that.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been good. And then Ramos was killing it. I was like, man, so it was awesome. And I invited a bunch of people, so hopefully they're getting a ton of value as well, which I know they are. But
right.
All right, folks, we got Jay Kinder, the former number two Coldwell banker in the world, multiple years in a row. Just freaking killed it. And let me do something real quick. Let's do this. Okay. All his accolades are at the bottom. This guy killed it for years over there. And I just want to go through the interview process. How did you – so you're from Oklahoma. You're a Sooners fan. I'm a Syracuse fan. We've been struggling for years, but you guys are always killing it. How'd you get into real estate out there?
Yeah, so my dad was in real estate. So, it's funny because like I always people think, oh, well, you must known you wanted to get in real estate because your dad's like, no, not really, because real estate was not, when I was growing up, it wasn't like it was that enjoyable, right? So like dad was always busy. It was always, pissed off, you know what I'm saying? We'd come home, ready to go on vacation, and he's never able to leave the business. And so there's always, there was always that challenge of it. That was just what I saw was being a kid growing up around it. So I didn't really look at getting real estate until after I was in college. And I was mowing yards for my dad. So he had a rental management company, and I mowed all the yards no one else would probably have mowed. So the people that skipped out and didn't pay rent, stuff like that. And I went in the office one day, and this one little guy was nicest guy ever. He's always really nice, but I never saw him do anything really. I never saw the guy do any work, but he was getting a check, and my dad was signing it while I was trying to get my $400 check, whatever it was. And he was getting a check for over $5,000. I was like, what did he do today? He was saying, I was like, he ain't even sweating. And it doesn't look like he does much every day that I come in the office. And so I was like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. So I decided to get my real estate license, took the test and all that stuff. And that was it. That was the beginning anyways. Of course, I didn't know anything, right? Like, no, the worst part about it was I was so young. All my friends were still doing keg stands. So it's not like, I had a sphere of influence to tap into really. And so, it was, I had to learn how to get customers. That was the, the first year was all about, trying everything and trying to figure it out. And I'm willing to try anything. So that worked out for me. So eventually I found a few things that work, right? Like, I always tell the story of like, if somebody would have came to me like and said, hey, what did you do to be successful? I'd be like, I have no idea. Like, because I'd done so much, right? Like that didn't work. And then only a few things that did work. And so it would be hard for me to say like do this, and this. And that was why I had, the benefit of really Michael Reese coming in and step by step asking me every step of the way what to do. I can navigate from that. Like, you're here and you're trying to get to here. Don't do that. Do this. Do that. Get this website. Don't spend that money there. Do this. So I can help. I can navigate helping people become successful a lot easier because of going through that process with him. So, but had you asked me before, I wouldn't have known how to answer it because I'd be like, I don't know. I did a lot of stuff and some of them didn't. But yeah, so that's my short story.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love the mentality because that's the mentality everybody should have. If he or she can do it, I can do it just as good, if not better.
Right.
Going into anything, you got to have that mentality. So I love that. All right, so you're this young, motivated hustler. I know there's no secret sauce. It's just hustle, outwork everybody. But what did it look like? Did you start with Coldwell or what did?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My dad had actually just bought the Coldwell Banker franchise the year that I got licensed. So that was all I ever knew as far as real estate. I mean, he had his own independent before that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know much of but that. So I plugged right into whatever stuff they had and started going to their, annual event and stuff like that. And there wasn't a straight path to success, that's for sure. And it really was more from the learning that went on, either at those events or outside of those events, and the bar and the people that you meet and stuff like that. And then, I started going to any and every event. So I learned that no different than like the virtual summit today, like that's literally 16 of the top people in the industry sharing whatever their best thing is right now is like that's a total, like that's a life's worth of work right there. Yeah. Like to implement all of what you learned today would take, a couple of years for sure, probably. Right. Like, and so there's just a tremendous amount that you can learn. And well, I used to learn them going to these events, man. I go to all the classes and I come out and I have all these ideas and this list of stuff and I go try it all. Right. And some of it would work, some of it wouldn't.
Yeah.
And so that's really what it was. And I've kind of distilled it down now to what worked. Right. And so, I don't even remember probably half the stuff that I did that didn't work, but there were some things that I did that were meaningful and that were duplicatable that anyone could do and should do in series of steps in the right order. It would be one of the things you want to do next. Right. Yeah. So for me, it was sales training. And there's a guy, you can't even find this guy anywhere. I've been trying to find him because he did make a huge impact on my life. His name was Bruce Tanner. And he was a white-haired guy that knew karate. And he didn't look very scary, but he made you a little bit afraid of him just because he had really long white hair. And he would teach this class. It was 8 weeks. And it was all based on like sales principles. And that was really good for me. So that helped me with like creating my process for how I would talk to a seller, like a FSBO or an expired. And I went to a different seminar, learned about FSBOs and expireds. And I was like, why is nobody calling these? Like, this is crazy. Like these people want to sell their house and, they don't have an agent. Like I just, I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought it was going to be easy. Then I realized it was hard, and people hang up on you and everything else. But then you get an appointment. You're like, holy shit, it worked. And, then you get face to face and somebody lists with you and you're like, holy shit, it worked. Right. So like, that's all I needed was that one little bit of success to keep me going. Right. And so for me, it was, I cut my teeth on open houses, FSBOs and expireds. That's where I got to probably 100 and it was my fourth year. I did 100 and something deals. And so it was probably, like it came between, the 2 years prior to 77 and 39. But that all came from hustle, right? Like it all came from me, like going out and getting beat up on FSBOs and expireds and just the amount of productivity you get and spending an hour with a seller that's wanting to sell, you can't do a whole lot more that has more value than that. So that really propelled my business forward. And then from there I learned marketing, right? So learned how to spend money to acquire customer and marketing, built a brand, was a recognized, brand in the market or whatever. But I did it because I had the seed money, right? Like I had the free money to go after that. And it's funny because people always tell me there's no FSBOs and expireds in their market or all the reasons why they won't. And like I literally listed my house. I'm in Dallas, North Dallas, Frisco. My house that's I'm about to sell is in Aubrey, and I put it on Zillow just for sale by owner, just to see, okay, we'll see what real estate agents are doing today to be productive. Like, what are they going to say? What am I going to learn by this? Not one phone call. That's what I learned. Not one phone call from an agent. Not one single call in a week or two. I put it on there. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like that would be getting a phone call day one for me every day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's just nothing else more productive than a $1 million listing opportunity. So, but that's just it. You got to do the work.
Yeah. So, all right. Kind of get off topic a little. Well, stay on this topic, but kind of break up the flow of where we're going. All right. Little nugget. What would you be doing right now if you're home, stuck home with the kids? Would you be trolling the internet for FSBOs, expireds? Like, just what would you be doing?
Yeah, I would. You're going to exhaust the FSBO expired list pretty quick, in this environment.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I would do. The biggest opportunity that's been created right now, and every time there's uncertainty in the market, there's fear in the market, or there's a crisis or anything of that nature, there's always opportunity on the other side of it. So what I feel like that is the fact that there are Zillow offers is not making offers right now. Neither is Open Door and OfferPad. So there's a certain subset of the market that is is going to be highly motivated to do something, or would have gone to them for a cash offer, and they can't right now. So I'd want to own that audience is what I'd want. I'd want to drive them to an offer for a cash offer. And there's a price I'll pay for every house, just about, right? So yeah. I'm an investor myself. If not, get one, right? Don't get caught up in the whether you can buy it or not, but you can align an investor. Right. There's people with money that'll buy a house at a certain price. You just want to find out who those sellers are that are wanting to sell. And so, yeah, I would be jumping all over a Facebook campaign for a cash offer, and then a retargeting sequence of videos of, whatever testimonials you might have, or, over the years we collected all that stuff. But if you're just now starting that, you may not have all the assets you might want, but you still can retarget them with something and just be top of mind. And I probably would retarget them with KCM reports and stuff that's going on in the market, just establishing myself as the expert in what's going on in real estate. Because if somebody clicks on, this is a beautiful thing about Facebook. If somebody clicks on get a cash offer for my home, sell your home coronavirus free, whatever, right? Like that's the kind of messaging I would play around with. Not exactly that, but something like that. And, somebody that clicks on that is probably really seriously thinking of selling, right? So now I can retarget you with every single video I do where I'm talking about a market update, what's going on, how's coronavirus affecting real estate in our area specifically. Now I can really, you're going to see me and you're going to associate me with good content information about something that's relative to me, which is real estate, because I'm thinking about maybe doing something here and I don't know what's going to happen in the market. And so that's just the golden, man. To me, that's the golden ticket. Like I'm literally in between, like, the things I'm doing right now. I'm taking my Texas real estate license. Just before we got on, I was finishing up another quiz, nice. Just trying to get through it because I have an Oklahoma license, but I don't have one in Texas. And so I can't really I can't just go out and run ads and stuff here because I'm not licensed to do it. So I don't want to get into any trouble. So I have to get my license here. So anyways, because I want to do it so bad, I can't stand it. Right. Like I want to shoot all the videos and I want to do it like I used to do it. And just show people how it can be done, right? Like if I show, because it's one thing for me to talk about it and say, oh yeah, this is what I would do. It's another thing I'm saying, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is the number of clicks. This is like, I like to be able to tell you this is what I'm doing. And that would allow me to do that. But that I think is the biggest opportunity that I see coming out of this is leveraging the cash offer position into the marketplace. And even if they came back, I would still do it. And I probably would just target the buy box that's above them, saying that we're above where they buy, and or maybe even outside of their territory, whatever. But, there's opportunity there. They're doing it. Go look at their ads. You can go to Zillow. You can go to, Facebook ad marketplace, and you can pull up, go to the ad. I think it's the ad resource center, ad center, Facebook ad center, you Google that or whatever. And then you can put in Zillow and then pull up all their ads that they're running actively and the ones that are inactive. So you can see like, well, what were they saying? What was the verbiage? How were they getting to? What was the landing page it takes them to? Just copy people that spent a lot of money doing something. And this is not hard to figure out, right? Like just be a good detective and find somebody that's done it. Well, Zillow spent a bunch of money on it. So let's go see what they did. Right. Yeah. Like copycatter number one.
And I like, why change it if it's broken? But I like that you mentioned Facebook ads, right? Because people's screen time are up right now. They're just home
right all day.
Yeah. So but if you're a realtor or a business owner and your screen time's up, that's probably not the right answer unless you're making money off it.
Right.
All right, cool. So you're killing it at Coldwell Banker, and you're like number 2 dog in the company. So you're probably up here on a pedestal. They're willing to do whatever it takes to keep you. And boom, you see EXP, and why the switch? And I want it to be transparent. I don't care if you piss off. Like,
well, it's actually, there's more to the story actually. So,
okay.
So number 2, I never was number 1. Jean Shine was always number 1. I never could beat her. And she was amazing. She was awesome. And she's from Killeen, Texas. And so, I mean, I really liked Coldwell Banker. I didn't have a problem with it, but I can't remember what year me and my dad made this agreement, but it was kind of a verbal agreement that I was going to buy the company. He was going to retire and I was going to buy the company. And so we started doing the math. And, that year, I guess I know I had done this math before, but, I don't know what, maybe it's because it's family or whatever that I didn't make it a bigger reason to do something different. But I'd pay Coldwell Banker, between my dad and Coldwell Banker, the fees and a little bit my dad made off of me too. It was over in excess of $100,000 a few years in a row. And so it was a lot of money, right? Like that's a lot. I don't care what size business you are. That's a lot of money. And so, the fees were a lot. And so as I started doing the math and like looking at my business and then looking at his business and then looking at what else I could go do, I told him, I said, Dad, I can't do it. I can't do this deal because I'd be selling real estate today. I'd be still in Lawton, Oklahoma, selling houses. I wouldn't have ever been able to step out of the business and do something else, which is what, my passion was, helping agents and stuff. So, so we actually went independent. So I went independent in 2011. And so, wish I'd have joined EXP in 2011. That'd been great. But went independent and never skipped a beat, ran that company profitably for years. And ultimately I sold it to the guys that live there, and they run, it's their company now. So rebranded it to them. Now it's theirs, and made a little bit off of it. Not a lot, not near as enough as what you would like to hope you would sell your company for after building something for that many years. But yeah, we trucked on. We were building a coaching and training organization. Me and Michael Reese built that up to about $8 million a year, and then between that and the brokerage, we were doing close to $10 million. And so things were good, right? And like this is the thing that I think it's really hard for people to get is like, if things are really good for you and you're happy and you're not still looking at opportunity, and you always say yes until you have to say no. You always say yes until you have to say no. Because you don't know what that opportunity might be. And then you got to run it through your filter and make sure it's in alignment with your vision, where you want to go and everything else. Like in a million years, if somebody would have told me, hey, Kinder, you want to join a brokerage again? There's no way in the world that I would have never even looked at it. Right. Because I'm independent. We've got everything we need to grow. We're expanding. We're already in 2 states. We're looking to take this thing bigger than that. And things were good, right? And so it's kind of hard when things are good to be open-minded. But I just read Ray Dalio's book on principles, and I was actually reteaching part of the book because that's how I work sometimes. Is like, I want to retain it and find something really good, and so I'm teaching my kids that or my wife that or whatever.
That's way to retain it. I love doing that,
man. Yeah, it just helps you get it faster. It does for me, and so I think it's scientifically proven to help people remember things better. So that's probably why I do it. But, and I was teaching one of the principles, like the second one was being radically open-minded and transparent, and being radically open-minded is probably not my number one strength. So, knowing that was one of his top, principles, I was trying to be more open-minded, and I had an awareness around it. I guess I would put it that way. And so, Al Stacey calls me up, and he was going to be one of our partners. And this thing we were doing was partnering with agents across what we were doing. And we had built a kind of an engine that we could kind of plug in and help agents grow their business and build a brand. And so, Al's like one of my best buddies, number one, and he's one of our top guys. So like, I can't have him going off in this new direction, you know what I'm saying, without me really thoroughly looking at it and genuinely just wanting to make sure it was right for him, if anything else. And so looked at it, and man, I tell you what, I couldn't not see it after I saw it. Once I understood the business model and the leverage it created, I'd never seen anything like it. And so like, the only assumption I can make is like, okay, if this is all true, like this is all true, everything that's being shown to me here, then this may be the most brilliant business model I've ever seen. And we were very keenly looking at different business models, because we were looking at franchising at one point. We were looking at all the options that we have on the table, and we ended up independent because we'd never seen anything like EXP. We didn't even, it's like seeing a UFO. You don't know what it is until you really don't. And I'll tell you this, if you think you know what EXP is, you need to listen twice as hard, right? Like you need to listen, because you don't. I guarantee you don't. And that may be hard for a lot of people to hear, but like somebody needs to like stop you and be like, yo, you're missing it here. If you think you understand it and you're not at EXP, then you probably are missing something, because if you're a producing agent that really wants to take your business to the next level, or to create a passive income, or to create an exit strategy, you ain't getting it where you're at. So, I don't care. You can love your broker or to death, but it ain't going to make you any more wealthy. So, just be open-minded and take a look at it and ask questions.
Funny thing. So, I was, me and this couple were talking about them coming over to EXP. Their broker pulled them down and just started saying that rev share doesn't work, stock doesn't work, all that good stuff. Well, the same company is talking about cutting profit share.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, and ours is still good. So there's just so much stigma and BS that's out there, and people just want to like lie and cheat and steal.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because I don't think everyone has ill intentions. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because we had a guy that came over, a good friend of mine, known for a long time. He started several market centers, Keller Williams market centers, and he said, Jay, do you want to be the first person to pitch me EXP? And I was like, man, I haven't pitched anybody EXP, but I'll gladly walk you through the model. Yeah. And so I sent him a video. I said, watch this. This will give you the nuts and bolts of the business model. And I said, then let me answer any questions that you have, which is that's my process. If you invest in watching the video, you'll understand a lot more, and you'll need to watch it again. But there's a lot to kind of take away from it. But when I asked him, he said, he's like, I listened to people tell me their perspective of the model, and I assumed because of who they were that they were telling the truth, that it must be what they were saying. And he's like, it's nothing like what was being described. Like, I was really surprised by that. And this is a really smart guy that, he never did his own due diligence till the kind of the last minute, just because, he was under the impression that people that were in a higher position than him, I would say, in terms of, in the company, that were telling him things. He assumed that must be true and had no reason to believe otherwise. But it wasn't true. And so there's a lot of that goes on, that people think they know what it is and they start telling people what it is, and they're not even close to right. So, it's like if you're going to get your information, if you're buying a Ford, then you don't want to get your information from Ford from the Chevrolet dealership, right? Yeah. You want to go get the information from the Ford dealership where they sell Fords, right? And so just understand that people that that are going to try to explain something to you or convince you of something, I've not tried to convince a single person that they should join EXP. Like, either you see it and you have some questions and you want to know how I can add more value to your life, and I'm happy to do that, or you don't, and that's cool too. We can still be friends. Like, it's no harm, no foul, but that's just how I look at it.
Have you seen, absolutely. Have you seen anywhere else the amount of value and giving back to agents from anywhere in the country? Like, I just don't see it. Like, I can literally call you up or Brent go.
So when did you call me? When did you call me before we decided to do this live?
So I booked it on your calendar.
Right.
And I was like, hey, I booked that 20-minute coaching call. I said, hey, I'm not calling to be coached. I want to hop on a call with you. Right.
Right.
So, and you were like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. And we got on the calendar right then and there. Right. But I understand the process because I understand busy people. So if I need to get on their calendar twice. Right.
Right. Right.
On their calendar twice to get back on it. So I get that. But, yeah, just the value and pouring in and what you guys are doing today. Over 1,000 people are on. I know our team of 6 in Colorado. They were all watching at times here and there throughout the day with all their kids and being home. It's crazy, but
right,
it's nuts. And then a lot of our coaches that we have that come over, right, all have free programs. Brent Gove. You guys provide free coaching at some point. I know you guys have your paid for stuff like that. Ricky that just came over, Zero to Dot, just a ton of free coaching. And
yeah, dude, it's so. That's the part. Like when I said earlier, I said, you really don't even understand it until after you've been at EXP for a while. The reason I say that is because most people they come over and then they're like, when you start operating your entire business from your phone and you go into workplace, ask a question to the broker and you get an answer. You need, you have questions on this, that, or there, right here on your phone. Everything is so easy to get to. And it's like so quick, and it's like the first time you experience Amazon showing up, delivering your package. I just ordered that last night. It's already here this morning. Like that's the kind of experience you have with communication and the sharing of best information. If you're looking for something about how to do a certain thing, let's say you want to learn how to do farming, you go into the group and search for that. I guarantee you there's somebody shared the best probably training that there is out of everybody in our company. And there's a lot of really talented people that could teach the subject. So and it's right there available. You probably watch the training and download all the documents. It's instant, right? And until you kind of are in, you don't really realize how much value there is in that, right? It's just different, right? It's just different. It's not like anything I've ever seen. And it is hard to sell that, right? Like it's hard to like explain that to somebody. Like this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be like waving a magic wand, and whatever you want is right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think people are missing. And but they see that once they're here. I just wish you could explain it in a way that people would get it.
Yeah.
It's just that much better.
Did you so when you got to EXP, what did it? I mean, you guys have what, over almost 4,000 agents in your organization now? Right?
Getting close. Yeah. Getting close.
I mean,
mine personally is 32, just hit 3,200. In fact, when you said does revenue share work, I had to go check and see if my revenue share was working.
Oh,
it's working. It's working. Yeah, it's working really good this month, actually.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't think we're allowed to share income and stuff like that.
Right.
And for one, it's just not appropriate. But it's what did that? How did you guys go from 0 agents in your organization to 3,200 in how many years?
Yeah, two and a half years now. 2.5 years. So we joined into 2017, November of 2017, and man, it was like a tidal wave, honestly. I feel like we kind of joined, there's 5,000 agents, I guess, at the time. And I feel like there was a lot of really smart people that were all on the fence looking around going, all right, I need to see one more person join that I know. Right. And then so it felt like it felt a lot like that. So a lot of our circle of influence was not really looking at EXP at all. It's not like people were bringing it to me. Like only Al's the only person that everything. He's the only person that ever brought to me. Only person that ever tried to explain it to or tried to convince me of it, like tried to recruit me or whatever. And he wasn't even doing that. He was just trying to get my feedback. And this one other dude in Oklahoma, the first guy that showed it to me, and I mean, he was just like he was just excited about the stock, showing me this stock and how much his stock was worth. And I remember it was worth $3 and something. And I was like, my takeaway from the conversation was because he just didn't have any authority. I don't even remember the guy's name. He was a lender of mine, introduced me to him at an OU Ohio State football game in 2016 or might have been 2017 season. Yeah, it would have been the 2017 season. No, it might have been the 16 season. Yeah, it was because it was Baker Mayfield was a quarterback. And so, yeah. So anyways, but I didn't, my takeaway was, man, we got to put ownership and that ownership is a secret sauce. You give people ownership, people act different. And he was acting real different. And he was acting real different because it was publicly traded and he knew it was actually worth something. So that was I had that little takeaway, but I didn't even understand the model at all. I just knew that he had some stock. And I'd never heard of it. And so I ignored it. And
you said authority. Well, you talked about authority today during your training as well, about rolling into a listing presentation and slapping that magazine on the table.
Right.
They know who you are, right? So, anyway, sorry.
So what was the question? Now I'm off in left field over here.
Oh, no. So from day 0 to present,
what
does that journey look like for like
stuff like that? So that was it. Thank you. The ADHD moment.
Good. I got it. And I cut you off. So
yeah, it's all good. No, it's real. It's a real thing. And being stuck at home with my kids who all have the same damn disorder it's been very interesting. I'll say that. When we're all medicated, man, we've been crushing some puzzles. I'll tell you that much though. In our spare time, we put the hurt on some puzzles for some family activity time. But no. So I think we did. And the thing that I think we did that worked really well was consistently putting the message out there, because I was talking to somebody today and the way she explained, she'd been watching all the videos, she joined, and she felt like, that she was being educated and informed, with the content that I had been put out. And that's really what this is we're still educating and informing, because even if you're somewhat interested in EXP, you probably are missing something, right? Like you're probably missing a lot still that you may not know about, because there's so many things that are, different than what maybe you would think and even know to look for. So like that was my angle, was creating content. And so we just consistently went and told the story of the people that were joining and why they were joining and what they saw in it. And that, I think that brought a lot of awareness and brought a lot of people to the company in regard to that. And, the fact that we had relationships with a lot of top agents in the industry, probably more so than most people do. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And so, that we attracted a lot of really influential people, and those influencer, people bring a lot of people too. So, it's not, it's funny. It's not, it's nothing, it's nothing I did, right? Like I just did it before everybody else. I joined and everybody else joins too. And so, but that was really our strategy was putting out, content and doing that consistently, which is why if, anytime somebody gets interested in EXP, at some point, they're going to probably watch a video that I did, right? Like it's going to probably end up in your playlist somehow. YouTube's going to put it there. And so that was really, as a content strategy. It's the same thing I teach in selling real estate right now, like the same strategy. What did I do? I found people that were at a point of interest, right? Like I'm interested in EXP enough to go Google or search it or look for a video, right? Because what happens is people get pitched, and the first time somebody gets pitched, they're like, you're spewing your EXP breath. I don't want to hear it. But then they're like, all right, what is this damn EXP thing? Let me look this up. And they go and they look, and so people go, they go do their recon and research, and they bump into me along the way, and that's a good recruiting strategy for me. So that's what I've done to get there. That and then shifted my focus to from recruiting individually to actually I'll tell you the evolution I'm at now, which is really exciting. I think it's awesome for the business model too. It's a little bit. I'll get to it. So you'll like it. But so then it became leading my people, right? Like, so I've got people that are out there doing, agent attraction and, selling real estate on this, helping them sell more real estate, all that kind of stuff I can do to help there. And now I'm helping people with, agent attraction. How do I help them? How do I build systems? What am I teaching? What's the philosophy? There's a lot to that, right? Like people come on board and like, I want to do this. I want to tell everybody about it. Like, no, don't do it. Don't go telling everybody you're going to ruin it. Right. So there's a process you need to follow. You need to go through this training. And so we were just well equipped to create that kind of stuff because we were already a coaching training company, right? So like we just had the resources and we had the chops to do that. So that really helped a lot. Evolution now, this is my favorite part. So the evolution now is, for a person to be qualified as a FLQA, a qualified person that you've recruited to count towards, your number. If you're trying to get to 40, they have to produce, and they have to produce, 5,000 minimum GCI or 2 transactions every 6 months. And so, it's interesting because what I really appreciate about Glenn and Jason and Dave Kennord and Stacy and the whole entire executive team, everybody in the company, is the place that they're always coming from. And they actually took a bunch of the people and influencers in the company that have been there a while. Some of them, weren't necessarily bigger agent attraction, but they were, been in the company and influence, large influencer in the company or whatever. And they asked us our opinion of how they should structure the revenue share program, to make it sustainable for the long term. And so, I think that's important because if it's, if it's not sustainable, then this doesn't work, right? So it has to be sustainable. And so a lot of people try to poke holes in our model and say it's not sustainable. Well, you couldn't say it was or it wasn't, because you would never actually know how much revenue share you would ever be paying out at any given point. So you couldn't say it was, and you couldn't say it wasn't. You didn't know. And that's the truth of it. And so, it needed to be something that was, knowable. So they came up with 50% of the company dollar will always be paid out revenue share, which is awesome. And, makes the opportunities just as big or bigger than I thought it was. And, and that was the right decision for the company. But, the fact that they even asked us and interviewed and asked us, and then they threw out a whole bunch of potential things that they were thinking about as far as revenue share. And the one that we all got behind was that, an agent doesn't count as an FLQA until they produce. So you bring over an agent and they produce, then they count. And if they don't produce, they don't count. What that does is it means that the sponsor is going to be focused on the agent's productivity. And for the first time in any real estate company, my belief is that we are more focused on agent productivity than any other company. And it means that the person that you're sponsored with, and that whole group of people above them, is going to be highly focused on agents producing. And so, like, I saw a name on my Instagram today that was watching or that shared one of the videos of today. I'm like, man, I got to call her because I know a way to help her get some deals going, and she hadn't sold anything, and I can see how many she sold. So I know that, I can see if you're struggling. So I know who to focus my time on. But so I wake up today thinking not just about how to attract agents EXP, but how do I get my agents all producing, right? How do I create systems for everybody to be more productive? If everybody's selling more real estate, then what happens? We all make more money, right? So, and then the trickle down effect of that is, and this is the magic. This is the magic, is that everybody in our entire group, all 16 of the people that did that today, that spent the time, effort, and energy to put it together, we did that because it's going to help everybody, right? Like it's going to help everybody in the company. And we did something that it's not just for our group, it's for everybody. And so that's what you start to see is all these great people collaborating, working together, doing things. And, that's going to propel this company forward faster than anything else. It's truly a cultural benefit that you just don't get anywhere else. Yeah. And so, that's where we have to stay, on the forefront and lead from is, hey, how do we help these agents become more successful and build better systems and help them, to get going and making money faster. And we all win if we do that. Right. So anyways, that's where my day is spent today, because I've got 42 or 43 recruits and 14 agents that haven't sold anything. Some of them will never sell anything because they never had intentions of selling anything. And so, I'll help them however I can help them, but they're not gonna probably produce. Other ones, their intention was to produce, and I feel like it's my responsibility to help them. And so that's kind of where, that's where my focus is now.
Yeah, no, I like it, and I appreciate it, being transparent, stuff like that. And that was kind of the thing when I came in and I started sponsoring agents. I'm like, all right, I'm not just sponsoring them. I'm going to mentor them the best of my ability, even if they're out of state. How can I support them? Right. So I love that. I love that they just changed that rule, and you have to sell real estate, and it kind of gets rid of that stigma that EXP is just a recruiting company.
Right.
Because now we're the best of both worlds. So
right. And well, I love that. The whole thing about being a recruiting company cracks me up because every single company in real estate is a recruiting company. That's all they are. Like that's literally the central. I mean, that's it. That's what they are. They recruit agents. There's somebody that bought a franchise with the intention of recruiting agents, and that is their business model, period. So like it's, we are a recruiting model. We are. The difference is instead of a regional person getting paid or a franchisee being, the only beneficiary, the agent can now be the beneficiary of anybody they bring into the company. Yep. It's just a shift in you almost, I think, have to understand business models a little bit to really see the distinction and reason why being cloud-based is so disruptive. But it's fascinatingly good. Good. Yeah.
And so what do you got to say? Like a one-liner? Oh, they could bring them in. One-liner for anybody that's on the fence, and I want you to give then after that I want to go into like COVID-19 and just a quick nugget. What do you think a snapshot of that is? So anybody that's on the fence, what do you got for them?
Yeah, so the one liner I would be like, if you don't have if you don't have something in your life that you want, if you're not where you want to be financially, if you're not where you want to be professionally, you simply haven't learned something yet. And you surround yourself with the right people, and that can change everything. So spend the time, listen to people like Andrew, or getting in the right room around the right people, and your life can change. That's been the best advice I can give anybody.
Yeah. So thank you. So all this craziness going on, what do you see? I know you're busy, so I don't want to hold you up too much.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm excited. I love this, man. I don't want to stop.
Yeah, I like it too. Guess who I'm actually little quick nugget for anybody that's watching this. I'm jumping on with Sean K at 3:30 today, and we're going over. He's going to be doing a free training up to 500 people. Anybody that wants to jump on, so we'll be doing a recorded video with him later on. So that's going to be bomb. Former president of Math Developments of KW, so it's going.
He knows a thing or two about agent success.
Yeah. But yeah, so COVID-19, what the heck? Nobody.
Yeah, man.
Was this on your vision board?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, this was put a little V in the vision board there for the year. But actually, it's funny. I saw a meme somebody posted, and it said, we're not going to get paid for 60 days, and they were freaking out, right? And the realtor was laughing, ha ha ha. That's our life, right? Like we go 60 days before we get paid on anything. So so to a certain degree, this is potentially not as big of an impact. I think what we don't know and can't possibly know is like when are we going to be back back to normal, and then when is psychologically how are people going to act differently moving forward in terms of my wife's a freak I mean, she's literally outside. I can't bring boxes inside. I can't bring bags inside. I have to strip down naked if I go into the grocery store or whatever. I mean, she had me dressed up like like I was robbing the grocery store, a month ago before it became normal. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know like she ain't going to a restaurant. Like that's not going to happen. Not anytime soon. And so there's a lot of people, and we don't know really kind of how they're going to react to this. It seems to me like the majority of the population is going to go back to normal pretty quickly. But there's going to be a little bit of probably slower getting back at things. So that, and I just don't know the stimulus package and how well structured it is, if it's going to truly impact enough employers to keep those employees. With some of the language that's in there, it doesn't work for some businesses, right? You can kick it back into gear, but if you let go of any employees, then you have to pay it back. It's not a grant. So some of that stuff I'm concerned about, and I don't really know what to expect. What I do know is that real estate prices don't change overnight. It's something that you can pay attention to the market and see what's happening. If the economy rebounds a little bit quickly, not a lot of people are talking about this, but this is a global economy crisis, not just a U.S. economy crisis. And so I don't know enough about that to be intelligently talking about it. But yeah, I don't see just a tremendous amount of supply that's going to hit the market. I saw all the builders slow down, right? So, but that also impacts jobs and people's wages and things like that too. So, it's hard to say. I feel like if I was to throw a dart at a dartboard, I'm anticipating. I know this. I've seen 2007 and 2008, and I've never been better battle tested for this than that. And so anybody who's got that battle scar of 07, 08, 09, going through that, you're conditioned for this, and that it's a matter of doing the work. And so there's going to be home sales, no matter how bad it got. There's going to be people buying and selling real estate. So what I don't want to see is another wave of it. That's for damn sure. I'd love to like let's make sure we don't have this happen again. Any kind of shutdown of the economy. But yeah, I mean, I know this. There's going to be people that need to buy, more so people that need to sell. And so in that situation, I thrive. And so let's get it on. I like it when it's tough. This is going to weed out the weak. And the opportunities are going to be right there for you, just like they always have been. Just don't stick your head in the sand and pretend. Become the most knowledgeable person about what's going on as information becomes available. Like I said this morning, you went through the training. KCM, yeah. I think, is the best resource for real estate agents that you could possibly get at this time. And they're going to be putting out good information that you can relay and feel confident in. And so, the truth is nobody knows, right? And, the thing we can do is be the most knowledgeable for our clients and make sure we advise them in the best way possible. That's why we get paid what we do. So that's my not too much of a prediction.
Yeah. Do you think anybody that owns like a real estate franchise should be trying to look at other options?
Yeah, well, they should have already been doing that.
Yeah.
The margins in real estate brokerage.
Time to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the margins of real estate brokerage. I mean, if it doesn't make this had to make you pucker up, because I know what they are, and I've been to all the events, and at every stage, the bigger they are, the harder than being the smaller the margin. And, just a little tweak in the economy can take you from a 5% profit to a negative 5% profit. And so, there's a lot of people out there that own brokerages that should be looking for a better way. And there's a lot of people that are probably really happy that they made the switch and already came to EXP. But this business model is perfect for franchises that are ending. This is what people don't understand is, if you understand that real estate brokerages typically operate at 5% pre-tax profit, and so if either you're in production because you have to be, as a broker owner or a franchise owner, or your margins are really thin. And so if they're really thin and the market shifts, that 5, 6, 7, 8% is literally all of your margin that you have. And so, there's not enough value, in my opinion, in any of the brands that I know too well to be a franchise owner. And so that's just my perspective. I'd rather take that 7, 8%, or I'd rather be at EXP where it's capped and have a bigger opportunity and a different business model. It's a no-brainer if you do the math.
Yeah.
Period. Especially in times of change.
Yeah. Well, So anybody that's watching, this is Jay Kinder, one of the top agents in EXP. They're running a training today. I'm actually going to drop the link because you can still register for it all day. Hop on. They're killing it. Hey, is that going to be recorded?
It is. Yeah, okay. It is. We're making it available free too, so anybody can go through and chip away at that content, take notes, go back and watch it again.
Yeah, because I definitely missed some. My eyes glazed over a little bit.
Yeah, I get it.
Blown, right? But like I said, I implemented some of the stuff you were talking about, some stuff that other people were talking about, just systems that I've just been putting in place all day in between breaks.
Dude, that's it. Implement, baby. I love that.
So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
Jay Kinder out of Texas now. Claim to fame is out of Oklahoma. He's a senior.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your leadership in the company and everything you're doing for everybody. So
appreciate that, man. Yep, great time, man. Anytime you want to chat, I'm always down. So
all right.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, see you. Thanks.
See you, Andrew.
See ya.